This is the second time we've had Gus, and he always has something new and different to talk about. And today, I believe he's going to talk about public speaking, so it should be of interest to all of us. So let's welcome Gus, please.
Thank you, and I'm done. Good to see everybody here today. Glad you all could come out and enjoy the camaraderie here at Rotary. Welcome to the satellite members. I know many of you. This is a good group. For a Rotary home, move west, young men and women. Move west. So, if you don't know me, other than what Jill just explained, my name is Gus Wagner. I own a company here in Jefferson City called the Rotary. We're a full-service creative agency doing marketing for small businesses, large businesses, national efforts up to the Fortune 100, et cetera, et cetera. It's boring. 22 years I've been in business world, 13 as a business owner now. I also served 8 years as Chief of Staff of the Missouri State Senate. Been a lifetime community dude, but not a Rotary member. That's weird. And in addition, I'm a 5-time certified social media strategist, which brought me here back in April. If you guys are like, hey, didn't we see this program before? Yeah, it was me back in April. So, speaking of social media, I'm at Rocket Group. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter, etc. There. If you're live tweeting this, which y'all should be doing, that'd be awesome. At Rocket Group is the mention, and we'll touch on that again in a second as well. Along with all the business stuff that I do, the pen and paper stuff, the creative stuff, the stupid accounting, accounting stuff that we have to do to keep our business doing, I do a lot of public speaking. I've been in church basements giving presentations. I've been in country clubs giving presentations. This was a large presentation over in Lawrence, Kansas. They let me come over to Lawrence, Kansas last year and give a speech to about 1,000 nonprofit organizations and folks out there. So if you've seen my presentations before, I always carry around a hashtag, but I did not bring it with me today because we're talking about a new topic. This is a brand new presentation. I just wrote this the other day because Jill, I was like, Jill, what do you want to talk about? She said, I don't know, just you're going to talk to the public. I'm like, that's what I'm going to talk about, is public speaking. All right, I'm no expert in public speaking. I've taken classes, so we were talking about Dale Carnegie classes earlier. I've done that stuff throughout the time, but it's just, I've grown to really enjoy public speaking and trying to help people understand topics in the business world, the marketing world, the whatever world, that whenever I get the chance to talk in public. So basically, I'm an egomaniac and all those kind of things. So we're going to talk about public speaking success. You can talk too today. So the most important thing that you can do as a public speaker, it's very critical that you know your topic and that you're able to take that topic and use it to educate, inform, and entertain your crowd. We've all been bored in church or in country clubs or church basements, whatever, where public presentations are being made, and it's easy to lose your audience. Okay? I've always told people that are nervous about talking, the number one rule that you need to know about public speaking is nobody's listening. And it puts them at ease a little bit, but my goal as a public speaker is to make sure you're hanging on every word to find out what crazy thing I'm going to do next, say next, or put on a screen next. So your goal as the person up here in front of that crowd is to educate, inform, and entertain. Nail 2 of those 3, and you're going to have a successful public presentation. And when you're comfortable in your topic, you become the subject matter expert, whatever it is that you're known for, your niche. People are going to want you to come talk to Rotary clubs or business groups or chambers, et cetera, et cetera. So you've got to know these people. Make sure, and then you've got to make sure they know you. That if you need somebody to come talk about insurance needs, William's your man. That's right. See, he knew right away. If you need a young legal professional, Blake Marcus, that's your man. Come and see him. Computer safety and technology. Who would that? Oh, Kayla's here. Kayla. So you got to know the bookers when you're at the big league levels, doing big conferences and events. Those are people who have a profession of finding and recruiting speakers. You got to know who those bookers are. You need to know who the Illuminati are that are running these organizations, be it this Rotary Club or the ones on the East or the association of whatever in Missouri or Kansas, Nebraska, wherever. You got to know who's that power behind the curtain that's going to get you up on that stage or keep you off of that stage. And sometimes you need to know who the good old boy club is. and be able to talk to those folks, be known to those folks, so they come and tap you on the shoulder, so you can come talk to their group, and they are endorsing you by putting you on stage in front of their group that they are part of the Illuminati of, okay? And of course, I had two guys drinking here. Nathan, is that you in the right? Okay. All right. So defeat nervousness. All right. I talked about how I always say that the crowds aren't listening to you when you're public speaking. Well, one of the old adages, I don't know if it was Dale Carnegie that said this in his book, but just imagine your crowd naked. Well, good job, guys. Picture them naked. You must do whatever it takes. Practice, rehearse, videotape your presentation, and play it back. We were talking earlier about the best speech you're going to give is the one on the way home from the presentation as you're replaying it in your head. That's what I should have said, or that's what I should have done. Oh, I called that person by the wrong name, whatever. Just be comfortable with it, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. So, and be cool. Be cool. So what if they see you sweat? I've knocked over things on stage before. I've tripped on stage before. I've said words I probably shouldn't have said in front of certain crowds before. So if it's anybody that, I don't think anybody here was at the Tri-County Bakers quarterly meeting just recently. Yeah, you were there, Mark. I'm giving the speech. I think I was standing right next to you when that happened. Over here, I usually walk around the crowd. You're just blocking me here, so I'm fenced in. But I usually walk around the crowd when I'm talking, and everybody starts laughing. And I'm like, I didn't say anything funny. What's going on? And I notice, and they're like, look, how'd you get that to happen? And the screen started falling as slowly as it could fall, all the way down. And we all just stopped as a crowd and watched it fall all the way down. But so you got to be cool. You got to, I'm just like, knock it over, project on the wall. Let's finish this thing up. So be cool. Things like that are going to happen. The powers. I was at Camden Lake one time giving a presentation to about 300 social workers, and the power went out. And we were in a banquet room underground. There's no windows around. We're in a completely dark room. I just kept talking. They weren't going anywhere. All their cell phones started lighting up. They had power on their cell phones. Just, you got to roll with it. So be cool. Be ready for anything. Be able to think on your feet. You're going to be fine as a public speaker. Don't be boring. Okay? These, no offense to y'all here, but these are the bane of real professional speakers' existence. You're standing behind the podium, putting that barrier between me with my information up here, and then I'm using it as a crutch, and I'm shouting into the microphone now, and you all are getting less from this because now I'm frustrating you because I look scared, and I'm shouting, and maybe I'm threatening to some of you right now. So lose the crutch of the podium. Be able to come out from behind the magic table here and talk to the crowd. Be able to walk around and make eye contact, make gestures. Be comfortable with it. Stretch, walk, laugh. But just don't be boring, because that's when you lose the audience. And there's nothing worse than people top of people's heads. That blank look right now that you're giving me, Mark. Nothing's worse than that blank look. This is Congressman Yoder from Kansas. A friend of mine was at a presentation he was giving. And for those of us in the political world, our political speeches are the most boring things ever. We all are there wrapping ourselves in the flag about this, that, and the other, whatever. Here's Congressman Yoder. That just looks like a boring presentation, doesn't it? Standing there in an empty room with nobody in front of him, the empty church pews in the front row, no presentation behind him, just standing there. I'm sure he's a capable speaker. I don't know Kevin at all, but I saw that yesterday in my Facebook feed. I'm like, wow, what a poor crowd. That poor crowd. And that was probably the first of 10 speeches he gave that day. It looked just like that. Have memorable moments. Have something that's they're going to stick with you, because they're not going to remember everything you say for the next 20 minutes. If I point over here to Nathan, what's the first thing you remember about Nathan? He had a memorable moment earlier. Dude got tased. Yeah. Okay? So you're gonna see Nathan somewhere. You're like, dude, you're the guy that got tased. I remember you. So there's been a couple other, Williams joke that was pretty memorable. But have those memorable moments that they can frame and identify your message and yourself in. And they take that away, and when the need comes up, or that topic that you talked about comes up in their professional life or their real life, they're going to go, oh, hey, I need to call that Taser guy, because he was the one talking about the catalytic converters on the Corwin Nissans. You guys have Nissan, right? See, I know your product. But so create memorable moments, interact with your crowds, frame, do things that are going to draw that connection to your message and yourself to the crowd. And you always want to try, and when we talk about takeaways, you always want to have at least 3, no more than 3 individual takeaways from each presentation that you give. And not many people sit and take notes during your presentations anymore. Some do, some don't. Most people are typing or tweeting, live tweeting the events, which you all should be doing, everything you do. What are the 3 takeaways that you want your crowd to take home with them, to take to work with them, to take to their purchase order guy with them from the presentation that you made? What are those 3 takeaways? Frame those takeaways so they're identifiable to each. And they might be 3 different to each one of you. Okay? And encourage this. Encourage this. If you haven't seen this picture before, this is a notorious, some people call it famous picture, some others call it. This is actually the J School of the Mizzou. And it was a snapshot of just a class going on, and the entire room's got, well, one guy's got an Acer computer over here behind the letters, but everybody else has got their apples open. And that's what I want to see when I'm giving a public speech. I don't mind if you have your laptop open, your tablet's open, your phone's open. I want you tweeting, I want you Facebooking, I want you doing stuff. Because what's that doing? It's helping me not only reach the audience in the room, but the audience outside the room as well. So if Stephanie tweets something stupid I did or said during this thing, Stephanie's Twitter followers are going to, which is me, I think, right?
That's right. My follower, the only one.
Which is me.
It's true. That's the truth.
That's why it's funny. So Stephanie's Twitter follower is going to see that at Rocket Group, the screen fell down while he was talking. Or he goofed and tripped over the monitor and the whole presentation was ruined and Christmas didn't happen that year. Whatever. You want to be reaching, your message needs to be reaching the audience of audiences in this modern world. So don't be offended if you're giving a talk and people got their laptops out or their phones out, because that's going to help you. That's going to help you reach those folks who are not in that room, maybe not even in that town or that country, because that's going to take your message to the audience of audiences, which is always the goal in this modern world of communication. We talked about memorable moments and tweetable moments. Stephanie could tweet, Gus just called me out of this thing. That would be a tweetable moment. Nathan could do the same thing. Well, you could do the same thing. You want to create things, whether it's a graphic or a picture or something you say that somebody's going to get out their phone or sit there and send a quick tweet or a Facebook post. It's got your name, your picture, your content, whatever they did, so they're sharing that with your audience. You should always contain a tweetable moment in everything you do. And by the way, me saying the word tweetable moment, that would be this tweetable moment for this presentation. At Rocket Group, by the way. And also, here's another takeaway for you. Anytime you're doing something here on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever that's related to Jefferson City, that's happening within our borders of our capital city, again, our hashtag is hashtag JCMO. If you want the Rotary tweets or Facebook posts to reach a larger audience that are not your followers or your members, include that hashtag in there and you're going to reach a larger audience. I'm not saying it's tens of thousands. I'm saying it's a larger audience than the ones you're potentially reaching currently. And always leave time for questions. I usually lead off with questions in these presentations that I give, because I want to talk about what you want to learn about, not what I came here to talk about. I'd rather have the end of my presentation cut off because of time limit by addressing the important questions that you guys came preloaded with to the room today. So leave time for questions, get to what they want. My table knows that I want a concert tour this week. I got home this morning about 2:30 from St. Louis. I went to a concert last night after meeting in St. Louis. I'm going to 2 concerts tomorrow. So I'm in a concert theme. As you can tell by this picture, And the next picture. So leave them wanting more, okay? That's what they always say in music, leave them on a high note. So don't give away your entire store, don't give away your entire knowledge base, don't give away all this stuff free in front of the crowd. Leave them wanting more. Leave them going, I need to call Gus, or I need to call Chris, or I need to call whoever to get some additional information. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Warren.
You're great.
That's great.
You're
So we
great.
got a picture of that. So leave them wanting more. I'll be here packing up for a couple minutes with all this material up front here. If you have additional questions about public speaking and such, please come get me, because that's the post game. The post game is important. I never leave a room until all the questions are answered. Almost done, guys. Gratuitous self-plug. We talked about this last time I was here. We have one more class coming up in this series of the Jeff City social media classes. June 17th, we're covering Google+, YouTube, LinkedIn 101. Also next Tuesday, we're doing an overall social media 101 through the Jefferson City Chamber. They're still taking reservations. We have a couple seats left for that on Tuesday afternoon over lunch. Lunch is provided. And with that, I'll say any questions? Any questions? Yes?
What constructs did you see?
Last night I went to see Steve Earle, and I'm going to say the names. You guys are going to be like, what?
I was in.
The pageant. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I got to hang out with Steve Earle last night. After the show, in the post game, I got to hang out with Steve Earle last night, so my life's pretty much over. After talking to Steve Earle and talking to Rotary West, I'm done. Bucket list complete. Bucket list complete. And then we're going to the Midmo Beer Fest up in Mexico tomorrow afternoon. And then me and a buddy who's in a band, we are going to Kansas City to see a gentleman by the name of Randy Foster in Kansas City tomorrow night. So, we're sponsored by Bill 66 Gasoline this weekend. So. Any other questions? Yes. Sorry. That's good. See, I throw out these little business opportunities, these little bugs, things like that. People jump on them. So, anything else? Guys, I hope I taught you something today, or at least I entertained you. Thanks for having me. If you're not a member of the Rotary West, join the Rotary West. And I'll see you in about 6 weeks when I come back to talk to you again, right, Jill?
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
You need to take your own advice and join Rotary West, right? We always give our speakers a four-way test ink pen, but I think you've got a collection going. So maybe if we give you enough pens, you'll
I'll have a
join.
set.
That's right, you have a set of four.
Box set. Yes.
See how I'm standing in front of the
I
podium?
know. See, behind you.
See,
Can't wait for
listen to
next
my
time.
takeaway.
There you go.
The other takeaway is for all of our satellite members, please consider joining our Rotary. I think we've got a great group. We love getting together every Friday. It's a wonderful place to have lunch, a real sense of brotherhood, sisterhood for the girls. We're a family here, and we'd love for you to join our family. Anything else?